So upon first login to your teacher dashboard, you're going to be given or sent to this welcome page. And basically what you get is a little short clip, what Dreambox is, just again reiterating best practices and usage recommendations, and some other tools that are available as far as how to introduce Dreambox to your students, ideas for using Dreambox in your classroom, as well as the overview of your teacher or insight dashboard, giving you all the information you'd ever want to know on how to navigate through the teacher dashboard. So a couple reports, really kind of the basic reports for first-time users or new users that you really want to kind of focus in on, look like this. This is an example of a classroom overview page. And you can see you have a drop-down menu here. You can look at this from any time frame, whether it's the last 7 days or if you're doing station learning, you want to know specifically what your students have done today, current school year, or you can customize that as well if you're doing quarterly reports or progress reports to send home. So depending upon that time frame that you select, it will let you know total lessons completed for your class. So if you're setting goals for your entire classroom as far as lesson completion, there's the spot that you would look. Additionally, it lets you know on average, again, based upon the time frame you chose, how many standards the students were proficient in. So when you're looking at this report, anything that's highlighted in green is going to let you know that the student is going above and beyond our recommendations. Anything that is orange lets us know that the students are below what we would recommend. And if you want a little bit reminder as far as specific recommendations by grade level for usage, you can just click there and it will remind you. So what we see on this report is you can see that we have all the students, we have minutes per week, so this is a great place to look to make sure that they're hitting the marks that you want them. We have extended use based on a percentage, and what that lets us know is how much time the students are spending outside of the classroom. This is another place that teachers sort of use as setting goals. I've seen classrooms and teachers use this not only in the classroom but as additional homework. So they may assign an assigned focused lesson, let the students know that they want to complete that at home, and then we can monitor and set goals based upon their percentage of extended use. The next is lessons, and it's going to do just that. It's going to let us know how many lessons the student completed within that time frame. So this is a great report to maybe check at least once a week to find out, are my students specifically hitting my minutes? Are my students specifically hitting the goals for lesson completion that I have set forward? A couple other rows or columns in this are standards met. This is dependent upon the time frame that you select. So a lot of times, the time frame will be set for the last 7 days, but we're 4 months into school and there's a bunch of zeros and ones, and teachers freak out a little bit. My students have been on Dreambox for 4 months. Why have they only met 0 to 1 standard during that time frame? And it's important to remember that it's dependent upon the time that you select. So if you want a more accurate number on standards met, you'd want to drop this down and select current school year. And then there's a little bit proficiency, sort of a running total as the school year goes on. Standards proficient in, and then we take a look at grade level, 1 grade level below, and 1 grade level above, so you get a quick glimpse of where your students are at. By hovering over any of these numbers, it's going to let you know exactly what those standards are that they have demonstrated proficiency in. So this is your classroom overview. You can actually drill in a little bit deeper by selecting any of the students' names on this list, and that's going to take you to an individual student report. And this is what an individual student report looks like. Again, it's going to let you know time in, lessons completed, standards in progress based upon the time frame that you select. But what you really get is some nice visual information on where your students' proficiencies lie, also where their growth occurs, and what is available to them. So if we can look at this student here, we can see that all of the green boxes let us know that is where the proficiencies lie for that student. So all K, 1, 2, 3, most of 4, and as a 5th grader, we can see highlighted in blue, he's beginning to work at grade level. The arrows represent where growth is occurring. I like to interpret that as this is where the student is spending most of their time within their lessons. You'll find that once a student begins to experience some success in an area, they will continually go back because they feel comfortable there. But don't worry, if students do continue to go to the same spot over and over, eventually what's going to happen is their choices on their landing page will be limited, and little locks will show up on their choices, which will funnel them in to the specific content that they are avoiding. And then all of these buttons, all of these boxes are clickable. And when you click one, it's going to let you know specifically what standards the students are proficient in, what standards specifically that they are progressing in, and what standards they have yet to have any exposure to. So it's a really good report for your individual student. These are great to confer with your student if you're establishing goals with them. They're great for conferences and any other time that you need to supply data, whether it's an IEP meeting or an RTI meeting, anything like that. So those are the 2 basic reports that I would start with as you are beginning to get familiar with your teacher dashboard.